Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel, where today we're going to be talking all about detachment. Detaching from your desires, detaching from the outcome, detaching from what you want, detaching from the situation, the job, the person. We have all heard it so many times, especially if you're scrolling on TikTok. If you're into manifestation and spirituality, you've probably heard it a lot. It is just like the law of attraction, the law of assumption, something that I believe is very true and accurate, as in it's not something that you believe in, it's something that simply is. You probably don't know that every single day you're walking around manifesting. And a lot of people who say that they're really bad at manifesting, they actually are really good at manifesting. They're just so unconscious. They're not being intentional and aware about the energy they're putting out and the things that they're working for. So when you're still in this victim mindset, you're not taking ownership of what you're creating and manifesting in your life, when in fact you are. Of course, I'm not saying that bad things don't happen. I'm not saying every little single thing has a crazy meaning. Not every angel number means everything. But you have to understand, for example, I am someone who believes so much in hard work, action, and showing up. But if you don't start working, really listen to me, because it's gonna be the most pivotal thing that you're gonna hear. If you don't start to actively work on you and your subconscious, you will never ever get further than your subconscious lets you, because it is making up 90% of what you do. So if your subconscious is wiring you to create the same actions and the same habits every single day, it's going to keep telling you the same story. So if you consciously say, I want to detach from this person, but really I want him back even though he's a total asshole who doesn't deserve me, I want the validation and I'm afraid to work on myself. I need him to fill up that hole for me. And I don't actually believe that it's going to be different. It's just going to be the same loop. But I'm consciously making a decision to detach. Do you really think you're gonna detach? If you say, I'm consciously making a decision that on Monday, like this is what we see all the time, on Monday, I am gonna start waking up at 5 a.m. every single day. I'm that kind of girly. I'm gonna start being healthy. I'm gonna finally lose weight. And I'm speaking from absolute experience as someone who is currently finally seeing breakthroughs and who's just actively doing more of the work. And notice when I say actively doing the work, it is still a very much an active thing. And I can't sit here and be like, I'm going to work on myself and my beliefs, and that's why everything is going to come in. No, that's another way you're going to protect yourself. People who say that, oh, I can just then sit and manifest all day and things are going to happen. No, you're still just being in a victim mindset. You're still just choosing. Really, you're just saying, I don't want to believe in this thing because I don't believe in myself. I don't actually want to do the work that I need to do to get to point B from A. So I'm just going to make excuse after excuse. And that can sound harsh, but you have to understand that it is the truth. You have to understand that you have so much more power in your life than you know. So that was just a little intro on why the subconscious is so important, because that is a series that I want to work on, as I'm also actively doing more of the work myself on the subconscious, because I really want to start rewiring my brain on a deeper level. And I'm going to do it through meditation and affirmations and EFT. I'm definitely open to other things, but I think that's just where I'm seeing the most change. The most important book that I've seen on this that I need to really reread again is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It was such a moment for me when I read it I actually think I was listening to the audiobook while I was at the gym or something, and he talked about when you hit your ceiling, essentially, that's when your subconscious goes, ooh, this starts to feel scary. This is making me fearful because this is change, this is scary, and that's what we've been talking so much about on this channel. And that's when you're going to sabotage. And that's another huge key to this, because you can't detach from something if you have so much obsessive energy put onto the thing. So essentially, when you hit your ceiling, let's say you get a little bit of success, that success is going to have to hit a ceiling because your subconscious isn't opening up to it being bigger. Let's say even on this channel, let's say I woke up tomorrow and all of a sudden I had this viral video that gave me literally 1 million followers. My mind would not be able to comprehend that. If someone gave me $5 million and said, this is now yours and now you need to invest it, I'd be like, okay, but I'm going to have to learn, and I can't really deal with this new identity that has just been forced upon me. And that's obviously why it's so great to take things in steps, because otherwise your subconscious cannot keep up and you're going to sabotage. That's why so many times when people win the lottery, what do? They're broke again after a year because they spend it all, because they don't know how to manage it. It's not their identity match. It's not the frequency or the identity match. So they're going to self-sabotage. And I really want you to reflect upon that in your own life. How many times have you consciously made a decision and then you don't stick with it? Or you start to do something and you start to see change or a little bit of success and some movement, and then you pull back because you get scared. You may get excited, but you also get scared. So now that we know that, let's talk about the actual law of detachment and why it actually is so important and pivotal and true. But at the same time, there's a reason why it's one of the hardest things to really master. And it's definitely something I have not mastered. So I'm just pointing that out. But the law of detachment goes as following. To manifest your deepest desires, you must let go of your attachment to the outcome. You are no longer saying, I need for this outcome to turn out in a specific controlled way. And because I don't, it can then manifest in different ways and I can allow it into my life. If I am okay with it coming to me or not, it manifesting or not, it is way more likely because I can be a frequency match, because I'm not putting the dream, the situation, or the person on a pedestal where I am down here trying to get this thing. When you do that, you are obviously in what? You are chasing, you are in obsessive energy, needy mode, and we don't want to do that. What I don't understand is why so many people who talk about this subject always refer to it as something that is so simple. Like, girl, will you stop obsessing over that man? Just detach and watch him crawl back. Okay. Again, we're going right back to your conscious cannot decide what your subconscious is not willing to do yet. To truly detach, you have got to have every single inch of you on board. So if you're going to detach from the outcome, what we're going to need to do is actively deciding, what is it that I want? Why do I want it? Most important step, who do I need to become in order to have that thing? So this is where it gets really crucial for you to then look at if the thing that I want to come to me is in fact not a thing, but a person. And what I hate more than anything is the so insanely popular subject of
how to get your specific person to do ABC.
I'm like, why the fuck would I want to do that? I don't want to get rid of a third party. If there's a third party, there's not a third party. It's a second party because I'm not there. I may have had my heart broken and done stupid things in the past, but I cannot, I would rather be sad and alone than to ever try to get rid of a third party. Those people really get me angry because they are just feeding off of people who are so vulnerable and desperate and in love, and they're feeding that anxious attachment and that anxious energy that people are in, and they're just fueling that cycle of fear. That was a side note. I can't stand them. Sorry. The only person who talks about it sometimes that I love is Dylan James, because he is not that kind of person. He always brings it back to you. However, let's get back to the point here. So if you want to get an ex back into your life, I really need you, and this may not be the romantic, cute playing games video that you wanted, but what you need to do is to make a list of why you want the person back. Then I need you to write down, in 3 years, what does my dream life look like? And in 3 years, what does my dream self look like? What is her or his lifestyle? What am I doing on a daily basis? What is the happiest, most fulfilled version of me doing? Now, I want you to look at the reasons why you want that person back, and then the person you want to be, and the life that you want. Do those things energetically match? Because I am pretty freaking sure that if you're trying to get a person back, that is someone who's not for you. It's someone who's making you anxious. It's someone you had a trauma bond with. It is not going to be good. It's not meant for you. It's a no-go.
It's a no-go.
You could probably manifest the person back, but it's either going to be games or the best case scenario. And the reason for this video is this main point. When you have successfully detached from the outcome and specifically from the person, there is a big chance that you've done it so well that you might not want it anymore. And the version of you right now is still in subconsciously an obsessive, needy, anxious energy of the thing or the person cannot get on board with that. That is why you are pulling it away even more every single moment of the day, because you keep thinking about the person and then you think I have to detach. But really what you're doing is just sending more energy their way. So the person might come back, but the reason why you can't commit to detach, if you decide to detach your energy, you're saying, I want better in my life. I don't need the person to come back. I don't need the person in my life. And if you successfully work on yourself, you will detach. If you do that, you are going to be in the space where you're wanting to improve yourself and your life. And then you know which is the best outcome. When the person comes back, you're like,
Ew, no.
and your ego might right now say, yeah, I'd love that. Not true. Right now, you probably want the person to come back because you're still somewhat an energetic match to them. You don't want to be, you don't want to have your heart broken, but you want it. You need it. You need the person. You want the person. It is not as easy as so many people make it out to be, because the law of detachment is very accurate, but the work that comes after are a lot of steps that involves a lot of self-development and a lot of shadow work, a lot of inner work and healing. And that is what my channel is all about, so stay tuned if you like that. And it just bothers me that when everything starts to become about trends and techniques, the techniques are just little different trendy versions of manifesting. But manifesting isn't a cute little thing. It is literally a law of the universe where you are creating your life, but you're doing it in an active way. And you always are. That's the thing. You're manifesting bad or good. But what you're wanting to do is to continue to take ownership of your life and understand that the law of detachment is all about you becoming the person you want to become. Because when you're getting closer and closer to your own dream version of yourself, you're starting to build a person that people and situations can't take away from. And that also means that you're no longer willing to give of yourself in the same way. And what happens when that is your situation and your life? Do you know it? You're detaching successfully. But do you think that happens right away? Do you think that happens when you think about your ex-boyfriend who hurt you or your ex-situationship who hurt you 24/7, and it's coming from someone who went through it several times? So we talked about the subconscious, we talked about the big leap, which explains why you won't make the leap any further than you do, because you're not allowing yourself. We talked about the law of detachment and why it doesn't work for most people. And we talked about taking it off of the pedestal. So for this video, I want you to really think about and tell me, what is the number one thing you want to authentically manifest? And I want you to tell me if it actually wasn't the thing you were thinking of when you clicked on this video. Because when you allow yourself to really get honest with yourself and not be so much in your ego, you may be willing to tell yourself, I actually still am very attached to this thing. Which, side note, is completely okay. There are so many things that I'm attached to and that I want, and I'm not someone who subscribes to this life of living where we don't care. I'm a lover girl. I am an empathic girl. I want the best for people. I want the best life for me. I am just trying to work on myself, and I'm finally showing up for myself, saying I want the biggest life possible. But that's not gonna come without me doing the work to stop living out of the same loop that I have in my past. If you don't change your energy and your habits and your actions, nothing is going to change. But unfortunately, we cannot do that from primarily a conscious space, because then you're allowing your subconscious to ruin it and to run you every single day. So now you know why you cannot successfully detach with a simple technique and why it's not going to happen overnight and why that is the best thing ever. So yeah, I think that's the video for today. If you are into that kind of stuff, then please hit the like button, subscribe, comment the things I asked you to do so you can actually hold yourself accountable. And then we're just going to continue to talk about tools and things to use so that we can actually actively work on this. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Have an amazing week. Okay, bye.